housing development. Okay, we are building houses in this country, left, right, and center, and we must, because we must think of how best to then make sure that we have affordable housing being developed across the country, and the people who just want houses, come, go, build houses, let's move. One of the things that contributes to high cost of development is the time between the moment you start with the idea and the moment you finish. Kwanza, in this economy, so the cost of steel has changed from this to that within a week. The cost of cement, last week it was 650 per bag, today it's 980 per bag. It's coming in between one budget cycle to the next budget cycle. Because of the change in the budget cycle, costs have just gone up. So you need to think of how can you actually start and finish your house very fast. Technology is one of those. There's technology apparently that talks about even printing your house. 3D printing of a house. And see, we were talking about this earlier.
Yes, we were.
Leave the space for window. Door. House done. Ting, 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 ting. Mabati. Ingia nyumba. And we were asking, how does this then happen? So the experts on this are in the studio now. We're joined by AHMED. Adam is the founder and CEO of Camhirst Ecosystem. And also we have Kennedy Sankara, who is the brand ambassador for Camhirst Ecosystem. They're here to talk to us about building these houses using technology, 3D printing. Good morning, Adam and Kennedy.
Pleasure.
Good morning. Wonderful to be here.
Welcome. It's good to have you both here for Kenya's biggest conversation. We always welcome our guests with a cup of tea, but here we're just going more than that. We're telling you about how, we don't give people fish. You show them how to fish. And this is how to fish. Whenever you're thinking about tea, think about Assis, the premium teas. All right? The brand is Assis. Assis is a Kenyan brand. Fantastic. It's grown in Kenya, lush tea estates in Nakuru County, in particularly Olengroni. And this is lovely. And Olengroni is Nakuru into Kericho. Beautiful. 2,300 acres of tea estate. They pick, they pack, they sell locally and internationally. It's called Assis. And they're various. So as you look for Assis, you'll see the Assis Golden Premium, you'll see Assis Tangawizi, you'll see Assis,
hibiscus.
That one.
Purple tea.
That's what I was looking for.
Green tea.
Hibiscus, green tea, and so on and so forth. Right? So next invitation is from CT. CT will welcome you with the day's proverb. And CT, what is that proverb?
This proverb is from the Republic of Liberia.
Okay.
Yes. If a monkey throws down its baby from the top of a tree, the rock below has no alternative but to burst its head.
If a monkey does what and what?
If a monkey throws down its own baby from the top of the tree, the rock below has no alternative but to burst its head.
Adam, what
Very
do you get from this proverb?
I like that. It's basically my take on that one is if we do something which can hurt either yourself or your loved ones, then there are obvious consequences of some actions, and that is an obvious one. If the monkey drops down his baby, it definitely is going to damage the baby's head.
Yeah.
So, but in this life, there's so many people that do this intentionally or unintentionally, and the what's sad is people around the world don't understand that tolerance, kindness, and is something where you need to adopt it as a lifestyle. Being cautious in what the actions we take. Every action has a reaction. Every outcome is there. If we don't think about it, if we're not careful, then there's a lot of problems that can happen. And then this simple proverb that it has so many dimensions, so many interesting elements of why would the monkey drop his baby?
Its own baby.
Own baby, that's what I'm saying. So, and I think it goes back to many things. I would say it's a lot to do with a person's mind. You know, only a mother would never harm his baby. Yeah, if a mother harms a baby, then the mother's not in the right state of mind. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. So to me, just like a mother protects its babies, I feel society as a whole should protect each other. They should look after each other, and you know, this is what we are trying to create. You know, within even our ecosystem, is we're trying to create an ecosystem which changes people's lives. You know, we show people how to be more careful, how to be more caring. You know, we are using technology and kindness to change the world in our ecosystem.
Great, Adam. Kennedy, what's your interpretation of that proverb?
The proverb is about, to me, being careful with what you do and having the sides of the coin, the two sides of the coin. So the decision is yours. What happens will ultimately affect you. So you have to act with precaution. Good.
Very good. So Camhirst ecosystem, Adam, we talked about, 3D printing and all this and the other. Just what does this company do?
Okay, so the ecosystem, I created it around 3 years ago. We're based out of Great Britain. I live and grown up in the UK, but I have a special place in my heart for Kenya, because my granddad moved from India to Kenya in the late 40s. He was here for nearly 2 decades before he moved to the UK. So Kenya was he loved Kenya. My mother went to school in Kenya, and my mother went to Pakistan to do a degree there, met my father, fell in love, and then they moved to UK. So when I came to Kenya, this is my first trip to Kenya, it was overwhelming for me because I've heard so many amazing things about Kenya. So I wanted to bring the ecosystem to Kenya, because what we're doing in the ecosystem is we are a company which is a hub, a home for innovation. We're a launch pad for innovation. So the problem you tend to have in when somebody creates an innovation, they tend to be technical geeks. They don't know how to raise money, investment. They don't know how to create the prototype. They don't even know how to take it to the market. I'm a global business development marketing strategist and a global entrepreneur. So what I created was a home for innovators and technology. And within our innovation technology ecosystem, one of our main projects right now is Camhirst Robots. Camhirst Robots, it's taken many years and millions of dollars, but we have perfected 3D concrete printing technology where it allows construction companies or anybody who wants to build a house to be able to buy one of our robots, and what normally would take many weeks, many months to build the walls of a house, our robots can build the walls of a small house in 48 to 72 hours. It can build a luxury villa in 7 to 14 days. So we are one of the first companies in the world to make this technology affordable and make this technology scalable, and we'll be able to mass produce it. And we're looking to bring it to Kenya as well, because we believe the housing crisis in Kenya is in a bad place. Affordable housing is a big issue.
Describe this robot, because you say it's a robot, but this robot can then build a house.
Yes.
So how is it? Is it something with many hands? How does it do that?
Good question. No, it's like a frame.
Right.
With obviously the frame is where it's like how can I explain it? It's like you can have different sizes. The one in Manchester, our prototype is around 20 foot wide and about 11 foot high, and it's on tracks.
Okay.
And it has an extruder, and it has a very sophisticated PLC unit. And what happens is the mixer pump is attached to the extruder, and we through the laptop to the software program. So whatever design of house the architects makes, our CAD specialists are able to put that into a CAD, and that CAD is then obviously software tells the robot, which is to exactly how where to print the concrete. So it pours the concrete, it keeps pouring the concrete in the design of what's been put into the program, and it'll continue to pouring the concrete, build 2 parallel walls until the walls of the house is constructed. And this is the future of construction, and this in itself saves a lot of time. You only need 3 people on site to build
to operate this thing. So the robot is placed here. It's on wheels. Of course, it's
On a
moving,
track,
and then
yes, that's right.
and then it has this extended arm that keeps moving up and down.
Yeah, the arm goes
What
left to
controls
right.
it?
Yeah, so the laptop is the software, the G code that controls it. So a man would sit with the laptop, making sure the program is working correctly. The other person will be near the mixer pump, and we're making sure the cement is being pumped into the extruder. And the third person is just making sure the printing, the concrete is being poured in the right way. So 3 people are needed on site, where traditionally it requires a lot more people. And the beauty of this machine is that it can build any kind of property. Right now it can build, like I said, affordable homes. It can afford luxury villas. It can build schools, clinics, hotels. I have just come from Central African Republic, and we have signed directly with the Housing Ministry an MOU, Camhirst Robots and Camhirst Ecosystem. And I was on national TV there, and we were explaining how we're going to be able to solve their housing crisis. We're going to be able to build the infrastructure in terms of all the other buildings, even the buildings, many buildings for the government. So this is exciting, because the biggest reason there's a housing crisis is because there's a shortage of skilled labour, and the traditional way is just too slow.
So essentially what we're talking about is that bricks are being put together on site, and then they are actually forming the building as you go. Is that what we're saying?
No, not bricks. It's better than bricks. It actually pours the concrete. The robot pours the concrete as it goes along. So it keeps pouring the concrete.
To
it
form
builds
walls.
So it's
Yes.
pre-mixed concrete.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's pre-mixed concrete, which is pre-mixed in the mixer pump we supply. And what that does is it literally builds very strong, more sustainable, eco-friendly walls, but you don't need bricks. These are built of concrete.
Okay.
So similar to what you would consider when normal companies create formwork, and then they pour the concrete in between. But formwork has to be disposed of, and formwork creates a lot of waste. It takes a lot of time first to put the formwork in place, then to pour the concrete in between, and then to dispose of the formwork.
Okay, so essentially concrete slabs are then being constructed, and then they're being constructed in the shape and form of the particular building.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
so this construction, does it follow design and form? You still have the other components of a construction in place, so this then will follow what the design the architect, for example, has put together?
For sure. So
Okay.
whatever the architect has designed, the independent CAD specialist will convert that into a computer-aided design. That will be then put, programmed into the computer, and that software then, literally, whatever the CAD drawing is, they will start to print that design. So the exciting thing is that you can build better walls, better perfection, build them stronger, and build them faster.
So how long would it take you to construct, let's say, a 2-bedroom house with all your amenities and such? What are you looking at?
Okay, so look, we supply robots. Our robots are bought by construction companies or governments, and the thing is that it would take an average small house around 48 to 72 hours for the walls to be constructed. It can build around a 3 meter by 8 4 high wall in less than 5 hours. So that
The whole house in 5 hours.
no
A wall.
one wall,
One wall.
So within 48 to 72 hours, you constructed all the walls of the house.
So you're saying that with the normal curing process that is required for traditional buildings is not required in this case?
Very true. So what happens is we have created our own special formula of cement.
Geopolymer cement.
Geopolymer is one of the cements. We have 3 different cements, and what we have is a special formula cement, which is one is the Portland cement base, which is available in most countries, but we add our own other mixtures that are again locally available, and we use accelerators. So that's what cures or hardens the cement faster.
Okay. So, but this then would have to be approved by the various authorities.
No,
So, for instance, we've got a building code in this country. Does it recognize this as building technology?
Absolutely. So what happens is my head of R&D and CTO, we're using materials right now which are available locally and approved already as materials that can be used. We also are bringing new materials to the market. So we have Campolymer and Geopolymer. What people don't realize is, after water, the second most used material in the world is cement.
Yep.
And what people again don't realize is cement manufacturers around the world are the biggest polluters and CO2 producers. It's actually the cement companies around the world are producing so much CO2, it is the equivalent of 581 million cars being driven 24 hours a day. That's all the cars in America, China, Europe put together. Now, what we're doing is, yes, we're having to use normal Portland cement, our own special mixture, which will provide the formula every time a construction company buys their robot from us, or we will partner with local cement companies to provide that special formula. And we're also looking to set up cement companies. But Campolymer, which we'll also be introducing soon, the production of Campolymer is 80 to 95% more eco-friendly to produce.
Okay.
It's stronger, it's waterproof, more fire resistant, and there are many, many of the benefits of the cement that we are going to be introducing to the world.
Okay. So take us through about this Campolymer and Geopolymer. What's the difference between them, Kennedy? Because you're like the brand ambassador. That means that you've seen these things at work.
Thank you. So, as a brand ambassador, allow me first take you through a brief on who actually we are as Camhirst. Camhirst is a team of professionals, passionate professionals, that is architects, engineers, and designers and constructions professionals who believe in the potential of 3D printing technology to reshape and remodel the future of construction.
Which one of those are you? Are you an architect, an engineer? Which of those are you?
I have said as a brand ambassador, you can even pick a musician to be your brand ambassador. You don't have to be an architect. You don't have to be a construction personnel for you to sell the agenda to the people. Yeah, it's just having the language that can go across board. So, with the wealth of experience in the industry, to bring the expertise, innovative thinking to produce a cutting solution to our clients. So our vision is to be the front runner in the adoption and advancement of 3D concept in the construction, and we strive to push the boundaries of what is possible in construction. We are not working with what is and what has not been proven. So we only work to align ourselves with the possibilities. Above all, our technology in the Camhirst uses the state-of-the-art computer-controlled 3D printers to achieve precise and efficient construction processes. This technology allows us to build structures with unmatched accuracy and intricity, offering endless design possibilities. So, by eliminating the need or the use of traditional construction methods such as steel, Portland cement, reduced costs, saving a lot. So the technology here is basically to enhance efficiency and effectiveness. A traditional construction site, we all know, and as Kenyans, the traditional method of setting up a building is quite bureaucratic. So when we have a machine in place, the efficiency of a machine is to reduce the timing. And we all, at the moment, we are speaking about carbon emissions and etc. When we use these specialized cements, we had issues with flooding. These cements that have been mentioned here, they are waterproof. So whether it rains or not, the construction is in progress and the building is secured. So our commitment is to delivering a super quality and unparalleled value to our clients. Every project we undertake is approached with meticulous planning, attention to details, and focus on exceeding the exceptions. So like here in Kenya, for example, currently the government is focused on building affordable housing. But you know, the issue at hand is not even the affordability, the housing crisis. Houses are in Nairobi. Nairobi has got what we called affordability crisis. And what raises this cost is the method of construction, the timing, and everything that is involved. Out of the 50% that the private sector does, you only realize that only 1% is affordable, of the affordable housing that is constructed by the government. So when we apply technology, this doesn't mean that there is job layoffs, because we only deal with the walls, the outside structure. Then the inner structure, we still have the middlemen doing everything, the fitting, wiring,
electrical, the plumbing,
everything. So everyone is still protected within the technology. But because they can't even currently, everything is going techno.
So it's the guy of Koroga who will
the Koroga guy, and I think it may be safer for the Koroga guy, because at times you walk into the construction sites, not every construction company has got the modern day machines. Yeah, so safety standards, you find people are just doing the traditional cement mixing with their bare hands. You look at some of the hands of those young people who come from the construction sites. I speak out of experience. My brother does construction back in Kisumu, and I've worked with him in the site. Mixing cement, not everyone has got the protection gears on. It's quite hectic, the dust that comes from cement. So when we apply technology and then we let people do the interiors, I think we are moving forward to ensuring that we build the maximum number of houses within the shortest time possible. And again, we have to align with the government expectations. Like we can only apply to become strategic partners, because the government has got its outlined expectations, the structural designs and everything. That is to avoid the discrepancies when it comes to building, because someone is building this and that. So it's a super technology in a nutshell.
Okay, let's take a break. 26 minutes to 10. We are talking about using technology to enhance better quality and faster and more efficient construction of houses. Adam AHMED is the founder and CEO of Camhirst Ecosystem, and we have Kennedy Sankara, who's a brand ambassador. 3D printing technology, the Camhirst robot. That's what we are discussing. We'll be back shortly.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
If we just gloss over issues and hope that time heals, then we might find that in generations to come, we might be back at the same situation. And the whole thing is born of stolen elections.
Spice.
When it comes to the decisions you make, you must be independent. There's no way you can allow one institution to dictate to you how you're going to conduct your operations, how you're going to decide cases. It's a no.
When you weaken the institution to the point where they cannot take action, then you realize that politicians have to come up and now start dealing with the issues.
That conversation has to die. Our politicians do not like the hard stuff. We must insist on the path of doing things right, whether popular or unpopular.
Money changes hands. That is a fact. If you have political goodwill at the highest top, like in Rwanda, then corruption will be an issue of the past. If you don't have political goodwill at the top, we will pass laws, we will amend laws, we will continue passing laws and re-amending laws, and nothing will happen.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Kenya Revenue Authority KRA reminds all business owners, including those who are not registered for VAT, to electronically generate and transmit their invoices to KRA via eTIMS. Did you know you can now register and generate eTIMS invoices by dialing *222#? Visit www.kra.go.ke to register and learn more about eTIMS and start invoicing your transactions today. The general public is also encouraged to request for an electronically generated receipt with every purchase. Vuka eTIMS leo. Kenya Revenue Authority. Tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
All right, I think we've done really well with traffic this morning. Very little bit of it left in different parts here and there. Off Thika Superhighway, traffic ended a while ago, and so we're not dealing with much of that. Getting into the CBD, a little bit of it left on Kiambu Road as you get towards Muthaiga Square, and I think after that you'll be fine coming through Pangani. On Limuru Road, then getting out towards Muthaiga, a little bit of that as well, but most parts of the city traffic free. It's great for Friday morning. Let's see what happens through the day. Let's talk on Spice FM KE on X.
Mature, intelligent talk every morning. Spice up yourself. Mornings done right. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
Continue our conversation. Adam AHMED, founder and CEO of Camhirst Ecosystem, and Kennedy Sankara, the brand ambassador. We're talking about the Camhirst robots that they have developed and they're rolling out shortly throughout the world, and what it can do. So the thing is about faster construction of buildings. We've seen 3D robots actually being deployed in various places, right? So where we talk about this is a 3D robot, the inputs are the same. The ingredients are put in the construction material, the cement, whatever kind of technology you're using for the cement, and then it just pours it along the wall, puts up the wall, puts up the house. How different is this robot from the others that are in the market?
Great question, Eric. This has been a problem where most of the other companies haven't focused on making it cost effective. Construction companies are only going to buy something. If I say I built a house, I built a car for the ordinary person, but the car is over $100,000, that's not a car for the ordinary person. And you don't expect, ordinary people to be buying that car. Rich will. This has been the problem with 3D concrete printing. Most of our competitors have built robots. I thank them, because my head of R&D and CTO, he's worked with these companies. He's seen some of the good things that they've done. He's seen some of the advancement in the technology, and he then realized what is stopping this from scaling. And one of the problems has been is when they say we can build a house in 48 to 72 hours, a lot of them are not being honest. They're not talking about the setup time. The setup time with their machines, because they have some of them with a four-legged gantry system. These huge steel pillars that the system is bolted onto has to be bolted onto these concrete blocks. These concrete blocks can take 28 days to cure. And secondly, they need cranes because it's so heavy, 3 to 6 tons. We alternatively created a robot on tracks that can be easily assembled and dismantled in 3 to 6 hours. So instead of waiting 28 days, ours is set up in 3 to 6 hours, maximum 1 day. It's light enough for 2 people to assemble it without a crane. It's easy enough to put into a 24 container and send it to Kenya or send it anywhere we want it to. So we focused on what's stopping this amazing technology being adopted by construction companies around the world, and that's what the R&D had focused on. The second thing was to bring the price down. Now, on average, most of our competitors charge over $500,000 for one of these robots. We charge $250,000. We provide not just the robot, we provide the mixer pump, the diesel generator, the laptop, the software, everything a construction company would need for them to start printing homes. And that again is a game changer because we're providing a complete solution. One of the biggest problems I found was they just can't build enough of them. So most of the other competitors, they're taking a year and a half to provide companies who order a robot. We can build any quantity because the factory I've set up in Greater Manchester, we can scale up quite easily. It's like a car manufacturer, Eric. A car manufacturer does not make the windscreen or the doors or does not make the engine or the seats. They just bring in from various suppliers these components. They're assembled in the car factory, tested, and off it goes. And we've done the similar thing. We've got engaged some of the best suppliers once we created the robot, and now we're going to be just towards the end of this month, beginning of next month, bulk quantities of the components are going to come in. We've already trained assembly teams to assemble, test, go into a container, off it goes. And just like I was in Nigeria, October of last year, there was an organization where we signed an MOU for 1 million social housing. Their orders are going to start going out in the next 60 to 90 days. Similarly, I was in Central African Republic. Like I said, on the 15th of this month, we signed an MOU directly with the Housing Ministry. We have orders from various countries, including Germany, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Argentina, Brazil, where we're going to be assembling these robots, or building these robots, sending them to these countries. So from around towards the end, from July onwards, we're going to start seeing show houses pop up. And these show houses, again, will bring in more orders, because there are some people who are happy to travel to Manchester, look at the robot printing a wall. That's what we do on open days. We demonstrate this, and then they're ready to go ahead, because they want to be the first in their city to use the technology. Who doesn't want to build faster? Who doesn't want to build cheaper? Who does, because if they can build for less, the construction companies are going to make more profit. They can pass on some of that saving to the end user.
It's going to be affordable to buy such a house. What I'm not getting, Adam, is over 50% cost reduction from the others to what we're having now here, the Camhirst robot. What has made it so much cheaper?
Okay, so we designed it in a way. The others have overcomplicated it. They're like the first mobile phone that came out, and we're like, the latest Samsung or iPhone. We focused on what we learned from them, and so by making it simpler and using technology which makes economies of scale as well, because they're not using economies of scale. We're like the Henry Ford was to the motor industry, that's who we are to the 3D concrete printing space. And 3D concrete printing, on the other hand, is called additive manufacturing. That's the right word for it. So economies of scale and making something which you can mass produce. They never created those robots. And so one type of robot is called a four-legged gantry system. So you've got 4 legs, huge concrete columns, which the system goes onto. And like I said, it has to be, supported. The second type of robot, you've probably all seen it, the videos of those arm type of robots that build cars. Now that's an ABB robot. There are companies who are making those robots for 3D concrete printing. But the problem is that there's a limitation to the width, the height of those arms. So those robots are not really the right solution. Even they look great. You can see the head of R&D, Ed Rowland. He was involved with one of these companies building that type of robot. It looks magnificent the way it works. It's on a track, and the way it works. But the problem with those type of robots are that because it's only limited height and width, you have to keep moving it. There is a company which built a building in Dubai with 3D concrete printing using the arm type of robot. They had to move the robot 120 times. Every time you move it, you have to calibrate it. So our system is a frame system on a track, and so you can build a huge wall without having to keep moving it.
What's the element of saving that you make using this technology? One would assume that if you're going to build a basic 2 to 3 bedroom, that the costs are going to be more or less, the same, right? So what do you save by using this technology on that?
Good question. You actually use a little less material because the waste that we create is minimal. Then you create a savings by not having formwork, because the formwork is costly and it takes a long time, not just to set it up to get rid of it. The other savings is that where the robot only builds the walls of a house. So the foundations is done in the same way. So there's a misconception the robots are going to take people's jobs. Not at all. If there was enough skilled labor, there won't be a housing crisis around the world. So we're creating jobs because the foundations are done by the people, the construction companies in the normal way. The robot builds the walls of the house super fast. Then you still have, we obviously need people, electricians, plumbers, roofers, landscapers, gardeners, and all of those other trades. And we are looking to set up academies, Camhirst academies of excellence throughout Africa and around the world, where UK standard artisan tradespeople, we were going to create an army of artisan tradespeople. We're going to do all the other associated trades. We are also welcoming construction partners who are already working in this space. I was with somebody yesterday in Kenya. He's building a 33-story high building here, a hotel and apartments, and we're looking for construction partners, we're looking for investors, we're looking for strategic partners, and we want the governments to wake up and realize if they don't embrace the technology, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to have the same results. And when you embrace technology, you bring more efficiency into it, you can build faster, and you can solve this housing crisis in many regions, obviously in Kenya and around the world.
The competition you speak of when it comes to the innovation of similar technology, we understand they work because we've seen what they can do.
Sure.
Now, you say that your technology is better,
yes,
and then it can do what some of these other technologies cannot do.
Meaning we took away the problems associated with the other companies scaling. That's what
I'm asking. You see, if the robot exists, that's proof of concept that the robot does exist.
For sure.
But the proof of concept of the buildings that this robot can actually produce.
Good question. Now, good point. A house is made up of walls. You know, if you can build a wall, you can build a house.
Build a house.
So we have, for the last 2 years, built hundreds of walls. And because we've been testing different cement materials, different things. So in USA, where we first made this robot with our, along with our cement partners, it was rigorously tested. Then we shipped it over towards the latter part of last year to United Kingdom, and because that's where I obviously am based, that's where we ended up again doing lots of tests, building walls. And now that all the testing has been done, the robots next month are being produced in larger quantities to go out to different sites. I'm 110% confident that not only will we build these obviously houses or any type of building, but we'll be building them in a better way. And the reason I say better is because yes, we can use that special mixture of Portland cement and use steel that is available in most places. But because geopolymer is an eco-friendly cement, we could be producing CAM polymer, which is more suited for 3D concrete printing. And we also have other eco-friendly cements. Now, what I want to go and say we can build better homes is because our construction methods we are trying to use are better. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you build a house with normal Portland cement or steel, the average lifespan is 60, 80, maximum 120 years, depending on the quality of the cement. Now, when you start to use things like, instead of steel, you use basalt. FRB, fiber reinforced basalt. Basalt is volcanic rock. So we're going to be using, where possible, basalt instead. Because steel starts to rust as soon as it's on site or goes into concrete. And over time, the biggest problem with structural integrities or problems is because the steel has deteriorated and rusted inside. So basalt is volcanic rock. If you build a property with basalt and CAM polymer, the building will last over 1,000 years. It's more hurricane resistant, more tornado resistant, more earthquake resistant.
The competition that you will have is not just from people who create technology, but from people who actually build houses, because the only way you sell a house is by someone seeing a house.
Physically.
Yes. If you say you can build a wall, then I believe you can build a wall. Doesn't mean you can build a house as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Now, what do you have in place to move from building the wall which has been tested to making sure that this wall actually forms a house that can be seen?
Very good point. We don't build houses. We sell robots to construction companies who build houses. So, we don't need to build a house. We supply the technology that builds the walls, and they do the foundations. They use our robots. We train people in Manchester to use the robot, how to use use software, how to mix the cement, how to set the machine up, how to maintain the machine. Our job is to train the people on how to use our technology.
How to use it. So then the question would be, has a CAM robot been used to build a house?
Not yet. Like I said, we have taken over 6 years, and the last few years we've been doing rigorous testing, and now we have over 1,800 robot orders. From June, we start mass producing these robots, and they start going out to those construction companies who want to use these robots to build faster, cheaper, better homes.
How are you convincing the companies to buy your robots? Are they asking for a proof of concept? Are they asking to see, all right, I want to see a demonstration of this robot actually building a wall? Because, maybe the contractor understands, if you can put up a wall, I can do
the rest.
The rest.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, has the CAM robot been used to commercially build a wall?
Good point. We have actually even built, with this first prototype, a whole house in USA. So yes, we have done it. Now the point is, have we done it with the new version? The new version is just a modified, better version of that. We need to make it lighter so it can be transported more easily. So the why and how are people ordering? People realizing from the houses that competitors have built that the future is this. Even recently, for YouTube, Justin Trudeau, 3D printing, Justin Trudeau, Canadian Prime Minister, was in a modular home factory about 4 weeks ago talking that 3D concrete printing is the future. And, I'm going out next month to meet the Prime Minister of Germany. I'm then going out to meet the Housing Minister of Canada. I'm obviously been invited by numerous different ministers and presidents. The key thing here now, Eric, is why some people have already paid full payments for these robots because they wanted to be the first to receive them. Some have paid deposits, but majority of the 1,800 robot orders that we received are coming June, July to see the robot printing a wall, because some people, they actually will not pay until they see it. So that's why a lot of meetings have been lined up with housing ministers. I was with the managing director of FHA, Federal Housing Authority, in October last year. Even he wants to come with his team. So there's a lot of interest because they can see it solves a problem. And they can see we're the only company in the world with 3D concrete printing that can mass produce.
Would you build a house if somebody said, you know what, I'm ready to go with 10 of these. I want to actually see what this is going to look like. Would you do something like that in terms of a model for somebody to understand?
For sure. We already have some construction partners who can work with us and do that. It's no problem. We can actually, this program, I'm going to say to people in Kenya, construction partners, you're welcome to partner with us. We have got orders coming in for complete projects. We're happy to do them. We got people who want to buy robots. The thing is, what we're trying to do is say to the governments, to the construction companies, embrace the technology. If you embrace the technology, you're going to be able to build more homes, better homes, faster homes. Now, the question is, in certain African countries, it's the funding that's the problem. Even the desire is there, and I know your president's obviously come up with this 1.5% tax in turn trying to help bring more affordable houses. But I have people who are millionaires, billionaires. We appeal to more millionaires and billionaires and VCs, venture capitalists and angel investors and private investors come. Let's together build these homes. But what we also got over and above that, which is exciting, is because I told you at the start, we are the hub for innovation and technology. We have a strategic partner in America which has got developed scanning technology, which can find land scanning technology, which can find resources below the ground. I'm talking gold, diamond, precious metal, precious stones, oil, gas. Now, what this exciting development has done is where the West has been slightly reserved in investing in Africa for certain reasons, we now are able to introduce this scanning technology to Africa and other places where very accurately, up to 100,000 feet deep, these scanners can detect these resources. If they can, not just can they detect the resources, we have a process whereby we can monetize the resources even without taking them out to the ground. And I'm just going to quickly explain that to you because I have gone and met some people in your mine ministry. I have signed an MOU with the mine ministry in Central African Republic on the 15th because they see how this new technology can help them use the resources to create its infrastructure and create houses. So the way that works, Eric, is very, very simple. Once there's geology data available, we deal, our strategic partners and I deal directly with the landowners, whether it be private or government. Once an agreement is signed, we send we do a satellite scan, we send the geologist, and we then send the land scanners. The land scanners will detect the resource, and once we detect the resource, we do 3 lots of shallow drilling to prove the resource is there, and then we get an independent company to create an NI 43-101, which is a mining report. That mining report is then used. I have this facility where we use that on a partner trading platform to raise around 15%, could be less, could be more, or what's in the ground. Now, over a 12-month period. So if there's $1 billion in the ground, we can raise, say, 15%, which is $150 million. Now, I'm only selecting those governments who are willing to use, because there's only 5 teams available, 5 scanners available, who are willing to use a good percentage of that for social causes, to build affordable homes, schools, clinics.
Normally, sorry.
Yeah.
Eric, allow me to say something about this. Gentleman and a lady. We had a scenario in Kenya in the recent past. One of our leading athletes passed on untimely. That was Kiptum. And they used a technology called light gauge steel. And Kenyans were amazed on how fast the house would be set up in 7 days. So there is already a practical example that can be used to insinuate what we are likely to be talking about on the ground. We all agree that the house was set up in 7 days, although they used a different technology of steel, cold steel pressed, but etc. But here now the technology, in summary, seeks to solve basic things. One, you can set up a structure on a ground that has got natural resources that can also bring money to the people and the government. So with this entire scanning technology, satellite scanning and etc., you're able to detect these things 100,000 meters down. So that can also help you in proper planning. Remember, I alluded proper planning as part of our vision, and also reduction in time, wastage of materials, and efficiency when it comes to the development of the entire structure.
Okay.
You asked of me how I'm involved. My background is in public procurement and logistics. We are going to move these machines from one place to another. Yes.
So you've got a lot of understanding.
I've got a lot of understanding when it comes to moving of property, acquisition and etc., because that is my profession.
Okay.
Good.
Kennedy Sankara is a brand ambassador for Camhirst Ecosystem. AHMED is the founder and CEO. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you for tuning in to Kenya's biggest conversation. It's the end of the week, the 24th day of May. There's still another Friday for this month, and let's add 2 more. Have a lovely weekend. See you on Monday. It's 10 a.m.
Thank you.